Ministers, it is a great honor and privilege to welcome Ms. Valentina, Speaker of the Federation, Council of Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation, to, to the Senate of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Today's event represents another important step in strengthening the growing ties between Pakistan and Russia. Two nations connected by a shared commitment to regional stability, peace, and prosperity. Speaker Valentina brings an unparalleled wealth of experience in governance, diplomacy, international cooperation. Ms. Valentina distinguished career spanning over 5 decades has left an indelible marks on diplomacy, politics, and governance. From her early years in Soviet youth leadership to becoming one of the Russia's most influential figures, her journey is a testament to hard work, perseverance, and visionary leadership. A pivotal moment was her tenure as a governor of St. Petersburg, where she revitalized the city, focusing on economic growth, cultural perseveration, and global engagement, turning it into a hub of diplomacy and investment. Her diplomatic expertise extends well beyond Russia Federation. As ambassador of Malta and permanent representative of the United Nations, Ms. Matvienko significantly advanced Russia's interest on global stage, earning respect for her ability to navigate complex diplomatic landscapes and foster cooperation. Excellency, current role as Speaker of Federation Council marks a pinnacle of achievement, making her one of the most influential women in Russian politics. Under her leadership, the Federation Council has been instrumental in advancing Russia's legislative agenda and deepening international cooperation. Excellency, your contributions to the empowerment of women, your advocacy for social development, and your commitment to multilateralism resonate deeply with Pakistan values. Your leadership continues to inspire women around the world to pursue leadership roles and, and contribute to societal progress. We are particularly proud of to stand beside leaders who share Pakistan's vision of inclusive and sustainable development. In this spirit, today's gathering is not just a celebration of our growing ties, but an opportunity to deepen our understanding and explore new avenues for collaboration. We have much learned from each other's experiences, and I'm confident that this visit will be stepping stone towards a brighter future of cooperation between Pakistan and Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and honor that we receive Ms. Valentina and her high-level delegation at the Senate of Pakistan. The The presence of our esteemed guest from Russian Federation today is not only a testament to the strengthening friendship between our two nations, but also a reminder of our collective commitment to nurturing parliamentary ties. A rarity, the address of the Senate of Pakistan today by Her Excellency will mark a new chapter in the history of not only Senate but also Russia-Pakistan ties. Your Excellency, we are truly honored by your presence. And I now invite you to address the Senate of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellency Speaker Ms. Valentina.
Ваше
Your
превосходительство,
Excellencies,
уважаемый господин Гилани,
Mr. Gilani,
ваше
Your
превосходительство, уважаемый
Excellency,
господин Гилани,
esteemed Gilani,
уважаемые сенаторы, коллеги,
senators, colleagues,
друзья, ассаламу алейкум.
friends, welcome.
От имени
On behalf
российской
of the
делегации
Russian
я
delegation,
хочу сердечно
let me
поблагодарить вас
sincerely thank
за
you
гостеприимство,
for the hospitality
за прекрасный прием,
and
оказанный нам
wonderful
в
reception you
Пакистане,
have accorded
за
to us in
содержательную
Pakistan,
программу
and for the
и за
intense
возможность
agenda and for this
выступить в
opportunity to
Сенате.
address
Для
in the
меня,
Senate.
поверьте, это
It is a great
большая
honor
честь.
for me.
Я рада вновь
I am
посетить
glad to
вашу
once again visit
замечательную
your
страну,
amazing country,
страну с древней историей,
a country with
культурой,
an ancient history and culture,
разнообразными и самобытными
diverse and
традициями.
distinctive traditions.
Визит в Исламабад
The visit to
парламентской
Islamabad
делегации
by the
Совета
parliamentary
Федерации
delegation of the Federation
Сената
Council
Российского
of the
парламента
Senate of the
это
Russian
новый шаг,
Parliament, this is a new
направленный
step
на укрепление
to strengthen the
российско-пакистанского
Russia-Pakistan
политического
political
и парламентского
and
диалога,
parliamentarian dialogue,
который успешно
which is
развивается
successfully
на
developing
высшем и
at the
высоком
top
уровнях
and high
в
levels
рамках Шанхайской
within
организации
the Shanghai Cooperation
сотрудничества,
Organization,
других региональных
other
и
regional
международных
and
организаций.
international
Я
organizations.
уверена,
I'm
что
persuaded
недавнее
that the recent
посещение
visit
председателем правительства
by the Prime
Российской
Minister
Федерации
of the Russian
господином
Federation, Mr.
Мишустиным
Mikhail
и
Mishustin,
нынешний визит нашей
and the current visit of our
делегации
delegation
внесут свой
will
вклад в
greatly
дальнейшее
contribute to the
поступательное
further
развитие
progressive development of
сотрудничества
cooperation
между Россией и
between
Пакистаном.
Russia and Pakistan.
Отношения наших
The
стран
relations between our
имеют
countries
давнюю историю.
have a long history.
Даже в самые
Even
сложные
in most
периоды
difficult times,
Москва и Исламабад
Moscow and
вели
Islamabad
всегда диалог.
kept up a
А
dialogue.
сейчас можно
And now
с удовлетворением
we can
констатировать,
note with
что позиции
satisfaction that the
Пакистана и
similarity of our
России
approaches
близки по большинству
are very
вопросов
close on the majority of
международной
international
повестки дня.
issues.
Наши страны
Our
одинаково
countries
заинтересованы
are
в
interested the
афганском
same in an Afghan
урегулировании,
settlement
обеспечении безопасности
and
в
ensuring
Центральноазиатском
Central Asian
регионе.
security.
Убеждена, что и
I am
далее будет
persuaded that we shall
сохраняться наше
sustain
взаимопонимание
our mutual
по
understanding
вопросам глобальной
on
безопасности
global
и
security and
стабильности,
stability,
по предотвращению размещения
prevention of the
оружия
placement
в
of weapons
космосе,
in outer space,
запрещению
prohibition of
биологического,
biological,
химического и
chemical,
токсинного
and toxin
оружия,
weapons,
недопустимости
inadmissibility
введения
of imposing
незаконных
illegal
санкционных
sanction
механизмов,
mechanisms,
любых форм
and all forms of
политизации
politicization of
гуманитарного
humanitarian
сотрудничества, в
cooperation,
том числе в сфере спорта.
including in sports.
Россия и Пакистан
Russia and Pakistan
последовательно
have
выступают
consistently
за
promoted a
укрепление
strengthened UN
центральной
central
координирующей
coordinating
роли
role
Организации Объединенных
in
Наций в
international
международных
relations.
отношениях. В этой связи
In
мы
this regard, we
приветствуем и
welcome
горячо поддерживали
and truly
избрание
support the election
Пакистана
of Pakistan
непостоянным
to the
членом
UN
Совета
Security
Безопасности
Council
ООН
as a
на
non-permanent
период
member for
25-26 году.
2025-2026.
Ваша страна уже 8-й
It is
раз
for the 8th
выступает
time
в этой
already
роли, что
that your
является
country
убедительным свидетельством возросшего
plays here,
авторитета
which
вашей
proves
страны на
the increasing
мировой арене.
authority of your country
Я
on the
уверена,
global
что
arena.
Пакистан
I'm
внесет
persuaded that
значимый
Pakistan
вклад в
will make a
повышение
significant
эффективности
contribution
работы
to a more
Совета
efficient
Безопасности и будет
Security
способствовать
Council
достижению высоких
and to the
целей
achievement
по
of high
обеспечению
goals
глобальной
of global
безопасности и
security
мира.
and peace.
Рассчитываем, что
We
взвешенная
expect that
позиция
Pakistan's balanced
Пакистана,
position,
ваш богатый опыт,
your rich experience,
глубокая мудрость
and the
вашего
profound
народа
wisdom of your
и его
people and its
руководителей
leaders
помогут по-новому взглянуть на
will
подходы
bring a new
к решению
perspective
многих мировых проблем.
when addressing many
Об этом
global problems.
свидетельствует
This
и
is also
активное
evidenced
участие
by Pakistan's
Пакистана
active
в
participation in
миротворческих
the UN
миссиях ООН
peacekeeping
во
missions
многих регионах
in many
планеты.
regions of the world.
Со всем вниманием относимся к интересу
We take full note
Пакистана
of
к
Pakistan's
углублению
interest in deepening
сотрудничества
cooperation
с БРИКС,
with
которое
BRICS,
включает в себя
which includes
суверенные страны,
sovereign states
представляющие разные
representing
континенты,
different continents,
разные модели развития,
models of
религии,
development,
самобытные
religions,
цивилизации и
distinctive
культуры.
civilizations and
Это
cultures.
объединение уже
It has
стало
already become
новым центром многополярности,
a new center of
где все
multipolarity,
участники
where all
выступают
participants
за равенство, добрососедство и
favor
взаимное
equality, good
уважение.
neighborliness, and mutual respect.
Переход от однополярного к
The
многополярному
transition
миру
from the
это
unipolar to a
объективный
multipolar world, this is an objective, historic process
который никто не может остановить, в
which
том
no one can
числе
stop,
и те, кто
including
пытается
those who are
сохранить
trying to
свое
preserve
доминирование,
their dominance
собираются сохранить гегемонию.
and to preserve their
Знаю,
hegemony.
что
I
в
know
Сенате
that the Senate
Пакистана
of
разделяет
Pakistan
эти ценности и
fully shares
добиваются
these
их
values
утверждения
and
на
seeks their
международной арене.
assertion on the
В
international
этой
arena.
связи
In
мы
this regard,
также выступаем
we
за
also stand
повышение
for more
интенсивности
intensive
взаимодействия
interaction
законодателей наших стран
between
на
legislators
многосторонних
at
площадках,
multilateral fora,
включая Межпарламентский
including
союз,
the Interparliamentary
Азиатскую
Union
парламентскую
and the
ассамблею
Asian
и
Parliamentary
других
Assembly
форматах.
and other formats.
Большой потенциал видим в
We see a great
наращивании
potential in enhanced
сотрудничества в
cooperation
форматах
in the
парламентских групп
formats of
дружбы,
parliamentary
а
friendship
также по
groups,
линии
as well as
профильных
through
комитетов
specialized
верхних
committees
палат
of the upper
наших
houses
парламентов.
of our parliaments.
Сегодня мы с моим
Today,
коллегой,
with our colleague,
председателем Сената
with
Национальной
the
Ассамблеи
chairman of the Senate of the National
Пакистана
Assembly of
подписали
Pakistan, signed
меморандум о
memorandum on
взаимопонимании,
mutual
который
understanding,
подвел правовую основу
which
под наше
laid a legal
межпарламентское
framework for our
взаимодействие и сделает
parliamentarian
наше
interaction and will make our
сотрудничество более
cooperation
системным.
more systemic.
Есть и другое важное
There is
направление
another important area
нашей работы. Мы
in our
очень
work,
рассчитываем здесь на наши совместные
and we
усилия
are
верхних палат.
counting
Я
very
имею в
much
виду
on the two
дальнейшее
parliaments' joint
совершенствование
work. I mean improving the
договорно-правовой
legal framework for
базы
our
нашего
cooperation.
межгосударственного сотрудничества. В этом смысле
So in this
значение
regard,
работы
the important
парламентариев трудно
work
переоценить.
of MPs is difficult to
Здесь немало еще
overestimate.
предстоит сделать, в том
Much
числе
remains to be done
для
here,
поступательного
including for
развития
the progressive development of trade
торгово-экономических
and
связей,
economic
их
ties,
диверсификации.
their
Они базируются
diversification.
на
They are
прочном,
based on a
проверенном
solid and time-tested
времени фундаменте.
foundation.
Советский Союз, как
The
вы
Soviet
знаете,
Union, as you know,
помогал
helped
развитию
Pakistan to
нефтегазовой
develop its oil
промышленности
and gas
Пакистана,
industry,
сооружению крупных
build major
энергообъектов,
energy
поставлял
facilities, and
сельскохозяйственную
supplied
технику.
agricultural
В период
machinery.
70-80-х годов с помощью
In the
труда
1970s,
Советского
1980s,
Союза был построен
the
Карачинский
USSR assisted in building the
металлургический завод.
Karachi
В то время он
metallurgical
был
plant.
таким, я бы сказала,
At that
своеобразным
time,
символом нашей
it became
дружбы.
some sort
Сегодня,
of a
когда
symbol of our
этот
friendship.
комбинат нужно серьезно
Today,
модернизировать,
we have to
перестроить,
modernize
построить новое,
this
наши
factory,
специалисты
or a
готовы к
new
сотрудничеству,
factory plan has to be done. Our
взаимодействию
specialists are ready to
с
cooperate
властями
and to
Пакистана.
interact
Мы ждем
with Pakistani
предложений.
authorities.
В
We're
случае
waiting for
вашей, конечно,
proposals, of course, in
заинтересованности.
case you are interested.
Эти традиции сотрудничества мы активно
This
продолжаем.
cooperation traditions are
Только
now
за минувший год
being again
российско-пакистанский
relevant for us.
товарооборот вырос
In
более
the
чем
last
на
year, Russian-Pakistani
50%.
turnover has grown by
И
more than
превысил
50%.
впервые 1
And for the
миллиард
first time,
долларов.
it
В
exceeded $1 billion.
январе-августе нынешнего года он
In
еще вырос
January,
на
August, it grew by
13%.
another
Эту
13%.
хорошую динамику нужно
This good
всячески
dynamics should be
поддерживать. А
supported
главное,
in
для
every
этого у нас
possible way.
есть взаимный огромный еще
And to do that,
нереализованный
we have a
потенциал.
great mutual yet unrealized potential.
Существует множество перспективных направлений
There are many
развития
promising
нашего
areas for the
экономического
development of our
сотрудничества.
economic
Хочу
cooperation.
особое внимание обратить на такие
I would
сферы,
like to
как
highlight such
энергетика,
areas as energy,
агропромышленный
the
комплекс. Это те
agro-industrial
направления,
complex,
которые недавно обсуждали
among
на
others. Those
встрече
are
президентов наших
areas
государств
which were
в
discussed during the
Ашхабаде.
meeting
И
of our presidents or
сейчас
heads of
нужно эти
states in Ashgabat.
договоренности наполнять
And
конкретным
now we should
содержанием.
add some substance
В
to
прошлом году
these
первая
negotiations.
партия российской
Last year,
сырой нефти
the first shipment
прибыла
of
в порт
Russian crude
Карачи, а
oil
уже по
arrived at the
итогам
port
года
of Karachi,
ее доля в российском
and
экспорте в
already for the
Пакистан
full year,
превысила
its share in Russian
20%.
exports to
Мы
Pakistan exceeded
дальше, опять-таки, в
20%.
случае вашей
And let me say it again, in
заинтересованности,
case
готовы
you are
наращивать
interested,
объемы
we are
поставок
ready to scale
углеводорода.
up the
Россия
supplies of
продолжает вносить вклад в обеспечение продовольственной
carbohydrates,
безопасности Пакистана. Мы
hydrocarbons.
увеличили поставки зерновых
We have
на
increased
пакистанский
grain
рынок.
supplies to the
В этой
Pakistani
связи
market.
хочу отметить, что
In this regard, I would like to note that
неблагоприятные
despite unfavorable
погодные условия
weather
этого года,
conditions,
российские аграрии уже собрали в этом
Russian
году более
farmers have harvested
132
already
миллионов
over
тонн
132 tons of grain.
надежность России как
This
одного из
guarantees Russia's
ключевых мировых
reliability
экспортеров
as one of the world's key agricultural
Также для
exporters.
повышения урожайности сельхозпроизводителей
To
в Пакистане
increase the
мы готовы
harvests in
наращивать
Pakistan,
объемы
we are
поставок
ready to scale
минеральных
up
удобрений,
supplies of mineral
современной
fertilizers,
сельскохозяйственной техники, делиться нашими
modern
новыми
agricultural machines,
технологиями.
and share our
Для
modern
наших стран актуальна
technology.
тема развития
The topic
международных транспортных
of the
коридоров.
development of international
Прежде
transportation
всего,
corridors is
международный
also
транспортный
relevant
коридор
for our
север-юг.
development. First and
Пакистан
foremost,
занимает
the
очень
north-south
выгодное
transportation corridor.
географическое положение
Pakistan has a
и
very
обладает
favorable
огромным
geographical
транзитным
location and has
логистическим
a
потенциалом.
considerable logistics and
Что
transit
касается
potential.
МТК север-юг, данный маршрут
As
уже
far as the
работает, он
north-south
способствует
transportation
укреплению
corridor
связанности стран
goes,
Северной Евразии,
it contributes to
глобального юга,
strengthening
и
of
мы
relations of
готовы
countries of the
вместе
global
с
south,
Пакистаном
of
и
the
дальше его
global
развивать.
of other countries
Приветствуем
of the global
заинтересованность
majority. We're
вашей
ready to
страны.
develop it further, and
Поддерживая
we
конструктивный политический диалог,
expect
наши
also
страны
interest from your part.
последовательно
Maintaining
выстраивают
a
курс на
constructive political
активизацию
dialogue, our
сотрудничества
countries are
по всем
consistently
направлениям,
pursuing
в
a
том
course
числе по
for
гуманитарному. Мы сегодня в ходе
for
встречи с
stepped up
моим
cooperation in all areas,
коллегой,
including the
председателем
humanitarian one.
Сената
When I
господином
met with the
Гилани,
Senate of
с
with the
господином
president,
Садиком,
with the
председателем
Speaker of
Нижней
Senate,
палаты,
Mr.
и
Gilani, and
с глубоко
with Mr.
уважаемым
Sadiq, the Speaker
президентом
of the National
Пакистана, много
Assembly, and
внимания
the
уделили тому,
esteemed President
чтобы
of
активнее
Pakistan,
развивать
we talked
сотрудничество
at
в сфере
length about
образования,
developing our
культуры
cooperation in education,
и
culture,
других направлений
and
гуманитарного
other
взаимодействия,
areas of
поскольку, на
humanitarian
мой взгляд, оно
cooperation.
несколько отстает
To my
от
mind,
темпов
I
развития
think that
политического диалога,
these
от
areas
уровня
are lagging
развития наших
behind
экономических связей.
in comparison with our economic and business
Но вместе
ties.
с тем можно сказать, что оживляется сейчас
At the same time,
двустороннее сотрудничество
we
в
can
области культуры и
say that
спорта,
our bilateral
имеющее
cooperation in
давние
culture and
традиции.
sports is
Искренним
being
другом
developed,
нашей страны был
is being
один из
revived. One
величайших
of the greatest
поэтов,
poets,
писавших на
one
языке
of our
урду,
greatest friends,
Фаиз Ахмад
wrote in
Фаиз.
Urdu,
Он
Faiz
переводил
Ahmad
стихи
Faiz.
Расула
He
Гамзатова,
translated Rasul
писал о
Gamzatov's
великом русском
poetry,
поэте
wrote about
Александре
Russian
Пушкине
great
и
poet
о
Alexander
героических
Pushkin,
защитниках
as well
в
as
годы
about
Второй
the
мировой
heroic
войны
defenders
моего
of my
родного
native
города-героя
hero city of
Ленинграда.
Leningrad.
Россия и Пакистан могут многому
Russia
научить
and
друг друга,
Pakistan can learn a lot
обогащая свои
from each other.
культуры
They
и
can enrich
открывая
each other's
новые
cultures
горизонты для
and
дружбы,
open new
говорил Фаиз
horizons
Ахмад
for
Фаиз.
our
И сегодня мы
friendship.
следуем
That's
этим
what
путем, развивая
Faiz Ahmad Faiz wrote
взаимодействие, в
about.
том числе
We are
в
developing our
научно-образовательной
cooperation
сфере.
in science
Заметен
and
прогресс
education.
двусторонней повестки
We can
в
notice
области высшего
progress in the
образования.
bilateral agenda in
Идет
the field of
продвижение
higher education,
признания дипломов
the
и научных
recognition
степеней.
of diplomas and academic
Налаживаются
degrees.
дружеские связи между молодежью.
Friendly
Мы рады,
ties are being
что
established
пакистанская
between young
делегация приняла
people.
участие
We're glad
во
that the
Всемирном
Pakistani
фестивале
delegation has taken
молодежи
part in the
в
World
Сочи.
Youth
Все
Festival
больше
in the city of
россиян
Sochi.
интересуется
More and
Пакистаном.
more
Отмечу,
Russians are
что
showing interest
недавняя
in
отмена
Pakistan.
вашей
I
страной
would like to
визового
note that the
сбора
recent
должна позитивно
abolition of the
повлиять
visa fee by
на
your country
туристический
should
поток,
have
в
a
том числе
positive
из
effect on the
России.
tourist
В
flow,
повестке
including
дня,
from
конечно
Russia.
же, стоит вопрос
And of course, the agenda includes opening direct flights between our countries and between our cities, which will give even more impetus to our tourist exchange. It has a very considerable economic significance and a very important human dimension. It strengthens our friendship and helps our citizens to learn more about history and culture of each other. The Federation Council, our relevant committees, advisory and expert bodies pay great attention to the topic of interfaith and interethnic relations. In our legislative work, we, Russian MPs, are guided by traditional spiritual values. I know that these important issues are also permanently in the focus of your attention. That's a good foundation for exchanging legislative experience among us. Parliaments play a responsible role in maintaining dialogue with faiths and religious leaders. Russian legislators, together with religious institutions, strive to preserve traditional spiritual and moral values, protect the family, motherhood, and childhood. Thus, in Russia, this year has been proclaimed the Year of the Family. Russia has historically emerged and developed as a state civilization with a multinational and multi-confessional people. In my country, there are more than 200 nations and ethnicities, and people of different faiths, different confessions, different ethnicities, speaking different languages, live in peace and agreement and in harmony. The Islam is an integral part of our country. We have more than 20 million Muslims in our country. The Muslim Ummah is an integral part of our society. It's making a huge contribution to maintaining peace and harmony, defending the fatherland, preserving cultural diversity, and strengthening the institution of family and educating youth. Here in Pakistan, I am especially pleased to feel the respect shown to women. It is nice to see female senators in this room. I know that the Constitution of Pakistan, whose half-century anniversary was celebrated last year, guaranteed the representation of women in parliament. And this is very important, this is great. The number of places for women is steadily growing. Today they are significantly represented in both federal and provincial assemblies. It is important that a huge number of Pakistani women have broad access to education, politics, and social activities. Historically, as elsewhere, it was not easy. A striking example is the fate of the first female Prime Minister of Pakistan and the Muslim world, Benazir Bhutto. She wrote in her autobiography, Daughter of the East, published also in Russian, she wrote that politics was a difficult area of effort for a woman in any society. We always have to prove that we are not weaker than men, we have to work harder and longer and make a lot of sacrifices. I think it was true for women in different countries, but now we see the situation improve, and I'm very glad to see the same thing happening in Pakistan. We had a lot in common. Dear colleagues, Russia and Pakistan are federal states. Parliaments in both Russia and Pakistan are bicameral. I know that your chamber, the Senate, is also called the Federation Chamber. Once again, bearing in mind the federal structure of your state, I know
Палатой регионов.
Our
И мы уделяем
Federation
большое
Council is
внимание
also called
развитию
the
сотрудничества
Chamber
между
of
регионами
Regions. We
России
pay
и
a
зарубежными
significant attention
партнерами.
to
Видим, что
the
наших субъектов
development
федерации
between our regions
растет
and
интерес
foreign
уже к
partners. We
расширению,
see
к развитию
a growing
сотрудничества
interest
с
to
регионами
expand
Пакистана. В этом плане
cooperation with
очень
Pakistani
перспективным
regions.
видим
Very
более плотные
promising for us
межрегиональные связи.
are
Действует
very
соглашение о
tight
налаживании прямых
interregional
связей
connections.
Санкт-Петербурга и провинции Синд, подписанное
St.
еще
Petersburg
в
and Sindh
2017 году.
province. In
Уверена, что это
2017,
направление
there was an agreement
требует
signed
нашей с
for
вами
closer
поддержки
cooperation.
по
I think
парламентской линии
that we
и своего
parliamentarians should
дальнейшего
support
развития с
this
другими
line
регионами.
and to
Мы со
continue
своей стороны
developing
будем
ties
всячески это
between other
поддерживать. Просила
regions.
бы
We will
также
give any
и вас
support that
о
is needed.
поддержке.
And I would like
У
also to
нас с
ask you
вами
for
во
support
многом
in this
схожие
regard.
цели, совместные
We have
задачи
similar
и
goals,
планы,
joint
значит, будут
tasks, and
и
plans in many
совместные
ways, so there will
действия.
be joint
Я хочу
actions.
поблагодарить Сенат
I would like to
Национальной
thank
Ассамблеи
the Senate,
Пакистана,
the
всех
National
сенаторов
Assembly of
и
Pakistan,
отдельные слова
all the
сказать
senators.
господину Гилани,
And I
его
would like to address
превосходительству,
Mr. Gilani,
председателю
His Excellency,
Сената, за то, что
the
вы
Speaker of the
вносите
Senate. I'd like to
большой
thank
вклад
you
в
for
укрепление и
contributing
развитие
greatly in
двусторонних связей
strengthening and
между
developing
нами.
of
Эти
bilateral
отношения
ties between
носят
our
характер
countries. These
взаимоуважительного,
relations
взаимовыгодного
work on a
сотрудничества.
mutually
У
beneficial and
нас нет
mutually
старшего и
respectful
младшего.
footing. There is no
Мы глубоко
minor or
уважаем
major partner.
суверенитет Пакистана, его
We
традиции,
respect
культуру
sovereignty,
и чтим
traditions, and
такое же
culture of
взаимное
Pakistan and
отношение со
history, and
стороны
we feel the
Пакистана.
same coming from
Мы
the
всецело
Pakistani side.
рассчитываем на дальнейшую работу,
We fully
на
count
развитие
on further work
российско-пакистанского
to develop
сотрудничества на
cooperation
благо
between Russia
наших
and
стран
Pakistan
и
for the
народов.
benefit of our countries and
Наша
peoples.
встреча началась с
Our
государственного
meeting
гимна Пакистана.
started with the national
Государственный гимн
anthem of
Пакистана на стихи
Pakistan.
поэта
The national
Хафиза Галанхари
anthem
начинается словами: «Будь
starts
счастлива,
with words
земля священная». Я от всей души хочу пожелать
starts with the following
дружественному
words:
пакистанскому народу,
Be blessed,
народу, каждой
sacred
вашей
land of
семье
Pakistan.
счастья,
I would
добра
wish all,
и
every
благополучия.
family and every person wealth,
Я
happiness, and health.
хочу поблагодарить за внимание. Бахот Шукрия. Пакистан, Руси, Дости, Зиндабад.
Бокхот Шукрия, Пакистан, Руси, Дости, Зиндабад.
Now, I request Senator Azam Nazeer Tarar, Minister for Law and Justice, to present vote of thanks. He is representing the ruling party, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz.
It will work now. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Madam Speaker, Honorable Chairman, Senate of Pakistan, distinguished members of the Russian delegation, dear colleagues from Federal Cabinet and Senate of Pakistan, Excellencies, Assalamu alaikum. Very good evening. It is a profound honor for me to address this August meeting today, which is of great significance. We are privileged to host Madam Valentina to her esteemed delegation in the heart of Pakistan's democracy, the Senate of Pakistan. Madam Speaker, your presence in this House marks a historic moment in Pakistan-Russia relations. On behalf of Senate of Pakistan, I extend our deepest gratitude to you and your esteemed delegation for engagement and dialogue which reflect the spirit of friendship, respect, and mutual cooperation between our nations. This visit also marks a new chapter in inter-parliamentary relations between Pakistan and Russia. It is both timely and symbolic, as we have recently concluded the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Senate of Pakistan and Federation Council of Russia. This MOU will serve as a cornerstone for deepening collaboration, facilitating delegation exchanges, joint consultations, and institutional learning between our legislative bodies. Excellencies, the relationship between Pakistan and Russia is rooted in mutual respect, shared interests, and a collective desire to contribute to regional stability and economic prosperity. Over the past 76 years, our two countries have worked together across various domains, strengthening economic cooperation, promoting cultural exchanges, and advancing regional connectivity. This visit is a significant opportunity for both our nations to build upon the progress we have achieved. It offers us the chance to explore new avenues of collaboration, not only in energy and trade, but also in education, cultural exchange, technology, and many others. We view the initiatives between us as pivotal elements in expanding our bilateral partnership. These projects not only serve to meet Pakistan's energy and infrastructure needs, but also enhance regional trade and foster integration across South and Central Asia. They reflect the growing convergence of our interest in creating sustainable and inclusive economic pathways for our people. Madam Speaker, the people and leadership of Pakistan believe firmly in peace, cooperation, and regional stability. We look forward to strengthening our partnership within multilateral forums like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which continues to provide a valuable platform for coordinated efforts on counterterrorism, trade, and sustainable development. With these shared aspirations in mind, I offer you our warmest wishes for the remainder of your visit to Pakistan. We are deeply honored to have hosted you, and we look forward to a future where our two countries continue to grow together in friendship and collaboration. Pak-Russia friendship Zindabad.
Now I request Senator Syed Ali Zafar, Parliamentary Party Leader of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Opposition.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Speaker of Russian Federation, Honorable Chairman of Pakistan Senate, it is a unique sight to see both of you sitting together. Trust me, it proves that this is a historic occasion indeed. Distinguished friends and colleagues from Russia, fellow senators, dear colleagues, it is an honor to greet and welcome you in our midst. Your visit is a reminder, Madam Chairman, that diplomacy is not just limited to governments. Diplomacy is actually a parliamentary affair also. And we believe that together, these legislatures, the Russian legislature and our legislature, can bridge and build bridges, bridge gaps and build bridges that normally statecraft can't. I'm a lawyer, Madam Chairman, and it's easy to be a lawyer. And I always believed that the most difficult thing was to be a judge, because you have to hear arguments from both sides and then decide day after day. But when I became a senator, I realized that there's even a more difficult job, and that is to be a speaker of a parliament. Because here we have people from the government side and very able people from the opposition as well, arguing on everything with each other every day. We don't agree on anything. We disagree. We even have tempers. We sometimes lose them, and the speaker and the chairman's job is that in this charged atmosphere, they have to maintain impartiality and then give their rulings. So commended. I think your very election as a speaker is commendable. Madam Chairman, we are in a unique juncture in global history. You have rightly advocated something which I'd like to quote. You have advocated the notion that our time is marked by global tectonic shifts in the world system. I want to say that Russia's vision of a global structure which is multipolar, rather than dominated by one power or a few powers. Russia's vision of a world where there is greater autonomy for nations to determine their own political, economic, and social development. This is a vision that is shared by many in Pakistan. I believe that your concept or Russia's concept of sovereignty, no interference by foreign powers, is the belief that many of us also hold. I want to reiterate, Madam Chairman, that in Pakistan, we too, both domestically and in the international era, promote and believe in the concepts of equality, the concept of the inalienable right of every nation to foster their own destiny without foreign interference. And we also believe in your concept of domestic traditions. That is also very close to our hearts. So Pakistan believes, and as an opposition leader, I'd like to say that this is a unanimous view. We agree finally from the government side and from the opposition side on one thing, which is that in this new world order, we want to strengthen the process, and we believe that Russia can be a leading and crucial partner for us. Madam, we are in politics, and our goal is very clear. We want to bring a positive change in this world, and we want to promote education, we want to promote health, and we inspire that people will have pride in our respective nations. Parliamentary relations are a powerful instrument, a most powerful instrument for achieving this. And that is why I consider your engagement with us today as a historic step forward. In pursuit of progress, I propose we strengthen our bonds through agreements in science and technology. I believe that memorandum of understandings between Russian and Pakistani universities could foster academic exchange, while partnerships in trade, economics, and even social and cultural fields could enrich both our nations. The Russian parliament, of course, I visited recently, and it reflects the diversity that you were speaking about. It also reflects that apart from politicians and apart from intellectuals, you have many famous people like world champions in boxing, world champions in ice skating, chess champions. You've had them in your parliament. We too have experts here in this very Senate from fields that are dedicated to serving the nation. So we have great mutual respect for each other's parliaments. And I believe that through this, we can take our inter-parliamentary relationship to heights that have never been seen before. On behalf of millions of Pakistanis who hold Russia in high regard, I extend a message of friendship. Our national poet, Allama Iqbal, famously said, and he was speaking about the soil of Pakistan, He said, this soil is fertile. This soil is fertile and needs only one drop of water. The same applies to our friendship between Russia and Pakistan. With sincere cooperation, this bond can grow from strong to extraordinary. In closing, I am reminded of the wise words of Hazrat Ali, who said, you can trust any friend who has helped you in hard times. Let us, Madam Chairman, nurture our friendship with this spirit, one that strengthens through shared support and shared understanding. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I request Senator Shari Rehman, Parliamentary Party Leader of Pakistan People's Party, parliamentarian, to
Thank you,
present
Chairman.
vote of thanks.
Madam Speaker and Mr. Chairman, thank you. And first of all, allow me to welcome Her Excellency, Ms. Valentina Matvienko. I hope I'm pronouncing this name perfectly because I hear everybody calling you only by your first name. So welcome to Pakistan, to Islamabad, and our chamber of, as you call it, the House of the Regions and the Federation. It reflects your chamber as well. To all our distinguished parliamentarians, cabinet members, and other colleagues present here, I think we all agree, Madam Speaker, that Pakistan and Russia don't have a young relationship. We have an old, enduring bond. And I say this from my heart because I remember as a little girl reading, looking at the Sputnik magazine, also dreaming of going to see the Bolshoi Ballet one day. And of course, I did manage. That's the first thing I did when I got there, to go to the Bolshoi. So your great country's past, its history, its gravitational cultural power has had a profound impact on many students, on intellectual minds, and even political trends in Pakistan. As I said, our relationship didn't begin yesterday, but we hope to strengthen it to new levels across the board. And we really, Madam Speaker, appreciate your coming to Pakistan, but also to this chamber to share your thoughts with us, to share your time with us, and to bring to Pakistan your valuable insights that we have been hearing across several meetings, as well as your deputies and committee chairpersons that have accompanied you on this trip. I commend you, Madam Speaker, for bringing this kind of august delegation, because this is truly an enhancement of ties between two parliaments. And parliaments, Madam Speaker, as you know, can do what governments often cannot. They bring the power of the people to any task. And that is where we can apply our minds, our critical mass, and good politics to breaking down any problem, solving any challenge, overcoming any hurdle, and bringing two countries together in an era, as you mentioned, of great change, of great tumult, and transformational energies in the world, from artificial intelligence to many things. You have mentioned, Madam Speaker, in your address that you have thought of Pakistan many times. You have thought of Pakistan's women many times, and you appreciated many women in the Senate, in the provinces. And you took time out to appreciate my leader, my great leader, Benazir Bhutto Shaheed, who died facing the sun, facing challenges that very few men could withstand. She was the ultimate political icon for for Pakistan, for South Asia, and for the Muslim world. As twice elected Prime Minister, I'm proud to represent her party here, as is the Chairman Senate of Pakistan, Mr. Yusuf Raza Gilani. But we're all friends here, we're all colleagues. As a barrister says here, that we disagree, we often fight. I hope we don't fight more. I hope we use this opportunity when countries can speak to each other and not at each other, that we too can bridge many divides in the spirit of civilization, comity, and gathering together like we have done today. Madam Speaker, your visit to us is not a ceremonial one only. To us, it is, as everyone said, a great milestone in our relationship because it embodies both our countries' collective commitment to democratic ideals, dialogue, multilateral engagement, and the fostering of joint goals which have been talked about across the board today. It also reflects our shared belief that through dialogue and legislative cooperation, we can foster partnerships that transcend political boundaries and bring our people closer together. In today's complex global environment, Madam Speaker, parliaments and multilateral forums like the SCO play a pivotal role in bridging differences. This is a very divided, polarized world. And I think advancing mutual understanding and strengthening trust between nations is a great project that your country has also undertaken. We congratulate you on your coming here. And I also want to say that it was touching to hear you note our great poets, Faiz Ahmad Faiz. I also want to take this opportunity to say that we have a connection between our two nations, as I said, in literature, philosophy, and art. Russia's literary giants are studied here, believe it or not. Leo Tolstoy and Fyodor Dostoevsky are studied here in great length. I run a book club called the Dostoevsky Club, and we have many great evenings listening to your music, your ballet, your culture. But today, we have come to a place in history, both for Pakistan and Russia, where we can take Eurasia forward. Eurasia is a rising power. Your country crosses many regional connectivity opportunities when we talk about ties for sharing energy, agriculture, technology, and all the opportunities we can find for trade and economic cooperation. It is a century for trade, it is a century for economic power, and we all can maximize benefits by bringing parliaments together. And I firmly believe that the friendship between Pakistan and Russia, anchored in dialogue, cooperation, and mutual trust, will continue to thrive and evolve for our well-being and prosperity for both our people. Madam Speaker, I'm confident that your important visit will be in front of us as a landmark that will turn Parliament's history for both. I would suggest that we deepen our bonds through all the chairpersons you have brought with you. Perhaps we could share notes with the chairpersons, corresponding chairpersons here. That would be a great, I think, productive outcome, perhaps at your dinner, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, or at any other opportunity. The visit is short. I'm sure it is already scripted and planned for, but I think this is an excellent opportunity that chairpersons of committees have come here all the way, and we must use this opportunity to cooperate and enhance our ties. Thank you very much for your patience and time. Welcome again.
I recognize the presence of MNAs Mr. Nabil Gabol, Abdul Qadir Gilani, Naveed Ahmad Jiva, Seher Kamran in the gallery. And for Mr. Senator Ali Zafar, about fight, I just say when we agree to disagree, it's democracy. Now I request Senator Amal Wali Khan, Parliamentary Party Leader of Awami National Party and convener of Pakistan-Russia Parliamentary Friendship Group to present vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Speaker, Valentina Matvienko, distinguished members of the Russian delegation, honorable senators, excellencies, it is a great personal pleasure and a rare privilege to convey our profound greetings and sentiments of bonhomie to our distinguished guests as memento of abiding friendship and love from the Pakistani Parliament, the political and parliamentary leadership, and our whole nation. Madam Speaker, we are grateful to you and the members of your delegation for honoring us with your visit. I'm confident that this valuable interaction and exchange of ideas between parliamentarians from the two sides would go a long way in further enriching, diversifying, and deepening fraternal Pakistan-Russia relationships. Madam Speaker, your visit marks a historic headway in furthering Pakistan-Russia relations and cooperation. I'm buoyed by absolute confidence that together we can lay the foundation for an even stronger partnership in the future to realize commonly cherished ideas of peace, development, progress, innovation, enlightenment, and harmony. The bonds of friendship and cooperation that we have renewed during your visit will enrich and deepen our bilateral, inter-parliamentary, economic, investment, and trade linkages. Madam Speaker, it's a very proud day for me today. Talking about 100 years old history, I am a proud hire standing in front of you right now. Let's remember my great-grandfather and my grandfather, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan and Khan Abdul Wali Khan, who both are now late, who just for this ideology and mindset that we must have friendly relationships with our neighboring country, regional countries, have been labeled traitors in Pakistan, as we said before, have been labeled agents of Russia. And in Pakistan, we and you both have been called the red non-Muslims. And I'm proud of that today, that Pakistan is moving in the direction where we asked them to move 50 years ago. The only reason we had to struggle for the 50 years taking Russia was our idea of having friendship with regional and neighboring countries. Taking this privilege, I request the chair to extend hands towards all neighboring countries. We must have a friendship criteria before everything. We must have good friendship with India. We must have good friendship with Afghanistan. We must have good friendship with Iran, China, Russia, and we must promote dialogues between these countries. Madam Chairman, I, as the chairman of Awami National Party, would like to bring it in your notice that in my headquarters in Peshawar, Bacha Khan Markaz, we have had an exchange of poetry between Russia and Pukhtuns. Alexander Pushkin's statue is there in Bacha Khan Markaz, where anyone can go and find it, and the ambassador knows it very well. And in return, our national poet, Khan Abdul Ghani Khan, his statue is there in Russia, and this shows the tie between Russia and Awami National Party and the Pushtun nation. Madam Chairman, just to remind everyone, in 80s, we had a students exchange program where people from Awami National Party, the Pukhtuns, used to be sent to Russia where they would study on scholarship, and at this moment there are thousands and thousands of Pukhtuns living in Russia, living their lives over there after that program, and we would love that program to be reinitiated, and we would love student exchange programs and some more technical programs over there. Madam Speaker, history is history, but we cannot live in history. We must learn from history, and then we must move on. History might be brutal. Let me state that. Sitting and standing in my country, have to face a lot of troubles. But again I say, history might be brutal. But Madam Speaker, as I said, we have to learn lessons and we have to move on. And your visit and this delegation's visit to Pakistan shows that yes, we are moving on, and countries or nations decide with their minds, not with their hearts. We have to leave our hearts aside, and minds at this time says that you need us and we need you. Russia needs Pakistan and Pakistan needs Russia, and this bilateral relation is the need of the hour, was the need of the hour, and will be the need of the hour. Whatever, Madam Speaker, is happening is our dream. My ancestors, with hundreds of thousands of workers, dreamt to have a good relationship with Russia as a country and Russia as a nation. We must work at every level to make these bonds strong. May it be between country to country, or may it be between nations to nations. We must work on nations to nations relations. We must work on business. We must work on trade. We must have expertise exchange program. We must have technical exchange program. And as Madam Chairman, I said, we must work at every level to make the bonds between Russia and Pakistan the strongest bonds that people must relate to. Madam Chairman, we, as the preachers of non-violence, we, the Awami National Party, as the preachers of peace, and as I consider myself or the ideology as allies to the Russian Federation in Pakistan in the past 50 or 60 years, I request you, I would never want to hurt the sentiments, but I want to become the voice of the voiceless. Madam, it's a request, a humble request, that the war must end. There must be an end to the Ukraine war. And Madam, it's a voice of the voiceless. War never brings love. War brings hatred. War brings disharmony. And every matter must be solved across the table. Madam Speaker, it will be a lovely gesture if we can have this as a present to this Pakistan or the Republic of Pakistan, and this war comes to an end, because, Madam, we and you all must promote love. We must promote non-violence. We must condemn what the violent countries are doing. We must condemn what Israel is doing. We must condemn what Israel, backed by the US, is doing. War is not in favor of anyone. The world must put an end to the war, and we and you must put together our voices for or against the brutality of Israel, what Israel is doing in the world. Supported and backed by the US of A, we must put an end to it. We must put a foot down in it, that there must not be any war. And if our lovely life or our peace is disturbed, we must join our hands together for peace to be supported and put back. I would also like to congratulate the government of Russia on the successful conclusion of the BRICS summit. And Madam Speaker, we, Pakistan, would love to be part of your summit. We would love to be part of the BRICS. And it's again voice of all Pakistan nation that you put our word ahead, and Pakistan must be part of the BRICS. I would also request the government of Russia to consider the installation of a small atomic power station in Pakistan, which is already in process. And as I've been to Russia, and I know what a lovely country, what a lovely nation, working on 100 regional languages. My God, we cannot work on one language. Russia is working on 100 regional languages, and I salute that country just because of this. Ma'am, it also reflects our shared belief that through dialogue and legislative cooperation, we can nurture partnerships that transcend political boundaries and bring our people closer together. I'm confident that our parliamentary ties will also continue to flourish with more such exchanges so as to share good practices and expertise for mutual benefit. Madam Chairman, on this note, I once again welcome and greet Your Excellency in our midst, confident that the friendship between Pakistan and Russia would grow from strength to strength and generation to generations in year to come. I thank you.
No permission. Madam Speaker, he was in the hospital and he was not well, Mr. Ahmed Wali Khan. And the leader of the BAP party, Balochistan Awami Party, he was the one who had to speak. If you allow 2 minutes, should I give it to him, because you are already late for the dinner and you have a hectic day, the whole day. I'll request for 2 minutes to Mr. Manzoor Kafir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Speaker, आपके साथ आए हुए आपके मेंबर्स डेलीगेशन में मैं इस अपर हाउस में सबको खुश आमदीद कहता हूं। मैडम स्पीकर, आज आपने जो तकरीर की, आपने साबित कर दिया एक चीज को कि जिंदा कौमें जो जिंदा रहती हैं वो अपने सकाफत को, अपने कल्चर को, अपने जुबान को प्रमोट करते हैं। आज आपने इस हाउस में आके अपनी जुबान में तकरीर करके जो महज़ब कौमें होती हैं, जो जिंदा कौमें होती हैं, आज आपने सबूत यहाँ पे दिया। और ऐसे कौम जो अपने कल्चर को, अपने जुबान को, अपने सकाफत को प्रिजर्व करते हैं, वो कौमें तारीख में याद रखी जाती हैं। जिन कौमों ने अपने सकाफत को, अपने तारीख को, अपने जुबानों को छोड़ा है, वो कौमें बहुत पीछे रह गई है। क्योंकि मेरा अपनी कौमी जुबान उर्दू है, अगर मैं इसकी पहचान न रखूं दुनिया में तो शायद फिर मैं अपना नाम और निशान भी भूल जाऊं। मैडम स्पीकर, जब हम आए थे रशिया, सादिक संजरानी साहब उस डेलीगेशन को लीड कर रहे थे। आपके साथ जो मीटिंग्स थी मैडम स्पीकर, आपके वो अल्फाज आज तक मुझे याद है। आपने ये बात की थी कि आप, मुझे खुशी हुई कि आप अपनी जुबान को प्रमोट कर रहे हो, आप अपनी सकाफत को प्रमोट कर रहे हो। तो आपकी वो बात आज भी मेरे जहन में थी मैडम स्पीकर। तो इस हवाले से उस टाइम सादिक संजरानी साहब ने आपको पाकिस्तान आने की दावत दी थी, और फिर मैं गिलानी साहब का, जो हमारे सेनेट चेयरमैन है, मैं इनका भी शुक्रगुजार हूं कि इन्होंने आपको लेटर लिखा पाकिस्तान आने के लिए, और फिर मैं आपका और आपके टीम का और रशिया का शुक्रगुजार हूं कि आपने वो एक्सेप्ट किया, आप आए पाकिस्तान और अपने डेलीगेशन के साथ। एक बार फिर मैं इस पे फख्र करता हूं मैडम स्पीकर। इस हवाले से बातें तो यहाँ पे बहुत हुई मैडम स्पीकर, जो चंद चीजें हैं रीजन के हवाले से मैडम स्पीकर, खासकर मैं ग्वादर की बात रखूंगा। बलूचिस्तान से मेरा ताल्लुक है. ग्वादर वन बेल्ट वन रोड जो सेंट्रल एशिया की तरफ इशारा करता है, उस पे जो हमारे एशिया या सेंट्रल एशिया के जो हमारे दोस्त है, ममालिक है, जितने हमारे दोस्त हमारे साथ आएंगे और इस रूट को कामयाब करेंगे, इसमें पाकिस्तान का नेशन या हमारे हमसाया ममालिक और खासकर सेंट्रल एशिया के हवाले से मैडम स्पीकर, तो ये सब के लिए फायदा होगा इस रीजन में. वो वक्त आ चुका है मैडम स्पीकर कि हम रशिया जो बाकी हमारे ममालिक के, हम मिल के इस रीजन के लिए, अवाम के लिए हम काम कर सके. मैडम स्पीकर, जैसे यहाँ पे ब्रिक्स की बात हुई, आपसे हम रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, दोस्तों ने भी की, प्रेसिडेंट साहब ने भी ये बात रखी थी, सुबह चेयरमैन साहब ने भी ये बात रखी थी, अगर उसका हिस्सा पाकिस्तान को मेंबर बनाया जाए तो ये बहुत अच्छी बात होगी, क्योंकि हम आपसे इसी फोरम पे, हर फोरम पे ये रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे. जैसे कि एससीओ के हवाले से यहाँ पे कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था, मैं यहाँ पे जितने हमारे बड़े बैठे हुए हैं, वजीर आजम साहब, हमारे इत्यादी, जो एक कामयाब कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ और जो पाकिस्तान का एक बहुत अच्छा इमेज चला गया, और वहाँ पे आपके प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब भी तशरीफ लाए थे, और वहाँ पे जो MIO साइन हुए थे, मैं चेयरमैन सेनेट साहब से यही रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, जो मुआहदे साइन हुए हैं, होना तो ये चाहिए कि उस मुआहदे पे, जो मुआहदे हुए हैं उस पे काम हो, कि जल्द हमारा ट्रेड हो और हमारी जो दोस्ती है, जो पुरानी दोस्ती है, उसको दोबारा हम बहाल कर सके. मिस्टर चेयरमैन साहब, मैडम स्पीकर, यहाँ पे एयरलाइन की बात हुई थी, ये भी हम रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि एक डायरेक्ट एयरलाइन जो कार्गो है या एयरलाइन है, वो डायरेक्ट रशिया के लिए शुरू हो जाए, तो ये भी इस मुल्क की दोस्ती में और हमारे ताल्लुकात में मजीद इजाफा भी करेगा. मैडम स्पीकर, उसके साथ साथ जहाँ पे आपने ऑयल की बात की, गैस की बात की, एग्रीकल्चर की बात की, अगर हम इस तरह इकट्ठे होके हम आगे चलेंगे तो ये दोस्ती और मुफीद होगी, हमारे ताल्लुकात और मजबूत होंगे, और हमारे जो सफारती ताल्लुकात है उसको भी हमने और मजबूत करना है. यहाँ फेडरेशन हो, रशिया का फेडरेशन हो, हम यहाँ से आके डेलीगेशन, वहाँ से डेलीगेशन आके, अगर हम इस तरह अपने व्यूज एक्सचेंज करेंगे तो हम आगे की तरफ बढ़ सकते हैं. मैडम स्पीकर, और इसके साथ साथ जो हमारे चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स है, जो हमारे बिजनेसमैन कम्युनिटी है, उसको भी जो है ना, हम रशिया हमें भेजना चाहिए, और वहाँ की जो कम्युनिटी है यहाँ आनी चाहिए. जो हम चाहते हैं, जो हमारी सोच है, जो हमारी फिक्र है कि हम अपने ट्रेड, अपनी दोस्ती, अपने सकाफत, इन तमाम चीज़ों को आगे ले चलेंगे, तो उसका रास्ता यही है. मैडम स्पीकर, इस हवाले से जैसे हमारा रीजन है, इसमें जो आर्म्स की दौड़ है, इसके हवाले से जो हमारा SCO जो कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था, उसका मेन एजेंडा भी यही था कि जो एशिया है, इसमें अमन के हवाले से, खुशहाली के हवाले से अगर हम इस पे ज्यादा काम करेंगे तो हमारे जो न्यू जनरेशन है, जैसे उसके ऊपर बात हुई यहाँ पे, जो हमारे डॉक्टर्स है, जो हमारे इंजीनियर्स है, वहाँ आएंगे, उसके लिए स्कॉलरशिप होगा. तो इस हवाले से मैडम स्पीकर, हम आपसे यही रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि इस जो आपका यहाँ का दौरा है, इसको हमने यहाँ पे खत्म नहीं करना है, इसको हमने आगे ले जाना है, हमने आगे इस पे काम करना होगा. एक बार फिर आप तमाम दोस्तों का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ. थैंक यू.
I wanted to give time to each and every senator because of the constraint of time. I apologize. I'm not being able to give floor to most of the members who wanted to speak. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The House stands adjourned to meet again on Tuesday, 29th October 2024 at 11 a.m.